Yo, what is going on, guys? J.Yumeko here, and today we're back with some more Katawa Shoujo. Now, as of the time that I'm recording this, I have literally woken up 10 fucking minutes ago, and I am exhausted out of my mind, but I really want to see what transpires next in the series, because I feel like we're starting to get to a point where we're going to start getting more into the actual story and the backgrounds of these girls. So I'm excited for that, honestly. Let's just jump right into it. Let's do it. You haven't been forgetting to take your medicine, have you? I'm catching a little murmur. You should take it easy for a few days. The nurse's words hurt me far more than the exhaustion of the morning run ever could. Take it easy for a few days. I knew I should have kept quiet. I keep my eyes on the floor, feeling like a complete idiot. Of course I hadn't been remembering to take my medicine. I've been rushing out of my room to get to the track before Emmy. I fucking knew it. He hasn't been taking it. Ugh. Come on, man. After the track meet a few days ago, I felt inspired. So I've been running warm-up laps in the morning before Emmy shows up. But then today, while she and I were running, I felt a little pain in my chest. It was only slight, and it was only for a second, so I mentioned it to the nurse. Honestly, it's not that bad. I mean, I kept running and finished just fine, so really it could have been that bad. Why do I feel like I'm making excuses to the nurse? Moreover, why do I feel like I need to justify continuing to run despite the pain? Really, it comes down to my well-being. Really, it comes down to my being unwilling to concern Emmy, who seemed concerned anyways. I'm not sure how she was able to tell when there was anything wrong, but she claims I stumbled a little. She's the one who insisted I tell the nurse, so now I feel bad for worrying her at all. The nurse is shaking his head ruefully while Emmy paces outside the room. Hisao, I know it's difficult for you to get into a new routine, but if you don't want to find yourself in a lot of trouble, you're going to have to try harder. You can't afford to forget your pills, and you can't push yourself too hard. But if I don't push myself, how will I improve? I don't know where that came from. The nurse seems to have an idea. Now, where have I heard that before? He laughs and pats me on the shoulder. She's rubbing off on you, I guess. His expression changes again, and he's back in serious mode. Look, I'm not saying you shouldn't push yourself, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't be taking your medication, and it doesn't mean you shouldn't stop if your chest starts to bother you. I prefer not to have any fatalities while I'm on staff here. A bit of lofty goal to be sure, but I'm always up for a challenge. I hate to admit it, but I think he's right. I've got to remember to take my medication. You're right. I'm sorry to bother you. Who's worried? You're a smart kid, right? I know you can be responsible, Hisao. A situation like yours, you've got to learn to be responsible fast. I know. His expression suddenly becomes devious. I suppose you've started to enjoy your runs with Emmy then? Yeah, they've really been helping me. I mean, until today I was feeling a lot more healthy. Plus, it's really impressive to see Emmy run. Did you see her at the track meet? She was incredible. The nurse nods again, grinning all the while. That she was, Hisao. I watched her first couple of races before I had some business to take care of, but she told me all about it. Kind of you to loan her your jacket, by the way. Huh? Oh, yeah, wasn't that big a deal. I honestly had forgotten about that. I still haven't gotten that back. The nurse gets a smile that makes me feel like he's just made a joke. Not to you, but Emmy certainly appreciated it. And I know she appreciates you running with her in the mornings. This one catches me off guard a little, sure. Sure, she mentioned that it's easier to keep a schedule with an extra person, but I didn't think that I was doing her a favor at all. I thought she was doing me the favor of helping me follow the doctor's orders. She tries harder when you're around. If there's someone else running with her, she's gonna push herself more. And she tries even harder when you're around because, well, it's you. What the heck does that mean? Oh, you'd love to know, wouldn't you? He laughs in the style of evil megalomaniacs. No, seriously, it's because you're her friend. If Rin ran with her, I'm sure she'd do the same. Well, probably. But that's not the point. The point is you're helping her, even if you don't know you are. And she's grateful for that, even if she never says it. What do you mean, even if she never says it? Emmy doesn't talk a lot, but she and I have known each other for long enough that I can read her most of the time. I'll admit it, I have no idea what he's talking about. Emmy always seems pretty talkative to me. I see. The nurse suddenly realizes that he's been rambling and stops talking, looking a little embarrassed. Anyway, you don't have to stop your morning exercise. Just walk the track instead of running for a few days. Let things calm down. And take your damn medicine. I laugh as I exit the office, bumping straight into Emmy. Whoops, sorry about that.
Are you okay? What did the nurse say? Do you need to go to the hospital? Oh my gosh, it was my fault, wasn't it? I've been pushing you too hard, haven't I? I'm a horrible person.
The words pour forth like a torrent. She's really agitated. I didn't expect her to be this concerned about me, to be honest. Gotta calm her down, but how the hell do I do that? I do the only thing I can think of. I give her a hug. Emmy tenses up slightly, so I pat her head in what I hope is a reassuring manner. Hey, settle down. I'm fine, okay? No worries. I can feel Emmy's body relax as I continue to assure her I'm fine. Her arms wrap around me, as if she's trying to confirm that I'm not about to fall over dead. I catch a whiff of her hair. It smells like sweet, or how adrenaline should smell. Sweat, sweet. Sweet, it smells like sweet. Yeah, that makes sense. It smells like sweat, or how adrenaline should smell. It's a scent of activity. A hint of strawberries. From her shampoo, I suspect. I just need to remember to take my medicine, that's all. Don't worry about it. It's not your fault.
You're sure?
Her voice is muffled, mostly because at the moment her face is pressed into my chest. Yeah, I'm sure. I just need to take it easy a little for the next few days. It suddenly occurs to me how close the two of us are. It also occurs to me how nice being this close feels. I can feel Emmy's heartbeat calming down, and I have to resist the urge to rest my chin on top of her head.
Thank goodness. He really had me worried there, Yasao.
Emmy, you gonna come in here anytime soon? Oh, I'm sorry. Was I interrupting? Two of us spring apart as if the other just caught on fire. Emmy brushes her hair back nervously and laughs.
Of course not. I'll see you later, okay? Oh, and Yasao. Take your damn medicine.
This last phrase is punctuated by a punch to the shoulder. Yeah, I'll remember. See you later. The nurse smiles again like he's on some joke I don't know about and waves to me as I head for my room, feeling a burning in my cheeks. PogChamp! Ugh, I need to stop saying that. I have a habit of saying things ironically and then it legitimately becomes a part of my vocabulary. I need a shower. A cold one if the thoughts running through my head now are any indication. She is really soft. My pills are waiting for me when I make it to my room. I swallow them without a second thought. I don't know why I didn't think of waiting until after the runs to take them. For some reason I figured it was when I woke up or not at all. But no, they only need to be taken every 24 hours. The exact time of day doesn't factor into it. My thoughts drift back to the hug in the hallway. It's weird. You'd expect someone to smell foul after a run, but for some reason, Emmy smelled right. That tinge of sweat just seemed to fit her. Ugh, I really need that shower. Hey, let's go, my brother. Oh, that was a short one. Well, we can do another one. That was really short. What the hell? That was like, what, 15-ish minutes? Not even? Strange that it feels so natural for me to go up to the roof these days. I would have never done such a thing at my old school. In those days, I liked to eat alone. No, that's not quite true. Though I like to sit alone, I also like to watch people. I always figured that was the sort of person I was, but it appears that I was wrong. Excuse me. Then again, I also thought I was the sort of person who had a normal heart. So, there you have it. I don't know myself that well. Now I'm on the roof so that I can have lunch with a couple of people. And they're both girls, which is even stranger. Oddly enough, I feel closer to Emmy and Rin than I felt to anyone at my old school. Somehow I get the feeling they'd at least visit me if I wound up in the hospital. I focus on the view from the roof, banishing such thoughts from my head. There's a slight breeze blowing, and the sun is shining high in the sky. The sky itself is a deep blue, which with hardly a cloud in it. It's gotten pleasantly warm, and as I sit down to wait for my friends, I close my eyes and enjoy the feeling of the sun seeping into my skin. Voices intrude upon the edge of hearing.
Seems to have fallen asleep on us, Rin. Maybe he's faking, to lull us into a false sense of security. Why would he do that? No idea. Still, you make a good point. We should kick him or something to make sure that he's really asleep. Huh? What?
Emmy looks over me with only a short girl can, peering at me intently.
Oh, you're awake. I guess we don't need to kick you then. Was it part of our master plan? Was it part of your master plan?
What are you talking about? Emmy shrugs, her twin tails bouncing with emotion.
I'm not sure either. You must be pretty tired to fall asleep out here. Although it's pretty comfortable, I suppose.
She plops down next to me and begins to eat. Rin sits opposite from the two of us, a move which only makes me more aware of the girl sitting next to me. If I didn't know any better, I'd swear Rin did it on purpose. I concentrate on my food, trying to tune out the majority of the conversation that Rin and Emmy are having. Despite my best efforts, however, I still find myself glancing over at Emmy whenever she speaks. I notice how she purses her lips when she's thinking about something, squinting slightly as if that would improve her thinking ability. Rin says something that makes Emmy laugh, and I notice, perhaps for the first time, how she laughs with her whole body, rocking back and forth, head thrown back, almost like she's about to fall over. I probably look like a creep. It's about this time that Emmy realizes that I realize Emmy's looking at me, her voice raised slightly, so she's probably just asked me a question. Sorry, I kinda zoned out for a moment there. Emmy rolls her eyes, while a slight quirk of the eyebrow is the only sign that Rin's even paying attention.
I said, did you get a career survey in class too? You know, the one of those what do you want to do after high school things?
I don't think so. Maybe we'll get one tomorrow.
What are you going to put down?
That's a really good question. I guess I always figured I'd go to college after high school, but I have no idea what I'd do once I got there. And with the heart attack and all, I'd really be concentrating on each day as it came, rather than making long-term plans. I suppose I can safely start planning ahead again. I've always liked having at least a vague plan for my future, since it'll be nice to come up with once again. Of course, that doesn't change the fact that right now I've got absolutely no clue. I always kind of assumed I'd figure out in college that I'd just become a salaryman. That's pretty popular. But do I really want to? That's a tough question. I guess I don't really want to do anything.
You don't sound very excited about that one, do you?
She laughs as she says this, and I'm caught up in her laugh again. It's so girlish, high and giggly, like pardon the cliche, like a babbling brook. It bubbles out of her, starting in her belly and working its way up to her throat. I can't help but laugh myself. It's infectious. Yeah, I guess I'm pretty unhappy with the salaryman idea. But to be honest, I haven't given it much thought to the future recently. I suppose that these days I've been more concentrating with living one day at a time. Emmy considers this for a moment and grins.
That's a pretty good idea, Hisao. I just wrote down pirate.
I'm momentarily stunned. Then I start laughing. I stop myself and manage to gasp out a question. You're not actually serious, are you? Emmy looks mock offended.
Well, I've got the legs for it already, so I just kind of figured.
Even Rin seems amused by this.
Just you wait, I'll be the terror of the high seas. I'll show you all. I've even been working on my pirate voice.
She suddenly springs up and begins swaggering up and down the rooftop, shouting orders.
Garg, me hearties, give 'em a broadside with the long guns. We'll wear their guts for garters. Do you even know what that means?
Rin's unexpected interruption stops Emmy in her tracks.
Not really. But it's all in the delivery.
The ringing of the bell prevents her from demonstrating her point further. Emmy dashes off immediately, leaving Rin and myself alone on the rooftop. Rin stares at me intently for a few moments. Is there something wrong? Rin considers this question closely for a moment. After a lengthy pause, she shakes her head. Nope. Oh, why the staring then? Rin shakes her head again.
Nope, I don't get it.
Get what?
The staring thing. You two seem to, but I don't.
Great. She saw me staring. Now she probably thinks I'm a pervert or something. Actually, probably not. This is Rin we're talking about after all. Still, I feel the need to defend myself. I wasn't staring, I was just tired. Rin actually snorts at this, but she doesn't say anything. No, really, I was just distracted is all. Eager to end this conversation, I head back down to class. I'm greeted by the twin specters of Shizune and Misha, looking like they mean business. Well, Shizune looks like she means business anyway. Misha just looks like she's about to start laughing at any minute.
Up on the roof again, Hichan?
Oh my gosh, my morning voice cannot fucking deal with this high-pitched stuff, man. Sheesh. Okay, let's go at it again.
Up on the rooftop again, Hichan? You know that's dangerous, don't you? That's right. The school cannot be held responsible for any injury that comes from being up there, you know. Furthermore, we can report you for breaking the rules.
Misha leans in and whispers conspiratorially.
But we won't, Hichan. You three are too cute together.
He straightens up again, laughing at my sudden blush.
You're too easy to tease, Hichan.
Hey, come on. I'm still new here, sort of. Doesn't it mean to pick on the newcomer like this?
Nope. It's to help you get acclimated to your new surroundings.
Ah, I see. Well, do you have to be so overzealous about it?
Yep. Ah, that aside, Hichan, we were looking for you this morning, but you weren't in your room.
Of course I wasn't. I was out for my morning exercise, or here in class, bright and early. Unlike you. Shizune looks peeved, and a beat later, so does Misha. Or she tries to, at any rate.
That's because of student council business. You should be grateful that we worked so hard for you.
Oh, I am. So, what do you need me for? Not another attempt to rope me into their dirty work, I suppose. I hope.
We had to give you something, but since you weren't around, we dropped it off in your room.
Something? Like what?
Oh, you'll find out when you get back, Hichan.
Muto entering the room ends our conversation, and we all head to our seats. It's only after I've settled down at my desk and the teacher started talking about something or the other that something odd strikes me. What did Rin mean you two seem to? Was Emmy staring at me? Was Emmy staring at something too? For a brief moment I considered the possibility that Emmy was staring at me the way I was staring at her. Of course, that's ridiculous. Still, I can't deny that I wouldn't mind if it were true. But it's best not to think of that. No need to get my hopes up. Come to think of it, when did I start having hopes like that anyway? I shake my head in an attempt to clear it and focus on the lesson. After class, I make my way to my room. Muto really piled on the homework today. Oh, not this guy. Before I open my door, however, I am suddenly intercepted by Kenji, who's just exploded out of his own room in a flurry of papers.
Hey, we need to talk. These rooftop shenanigans of yours, man. They've got to stop.
What?
You're running around the rooftop with the limbless wonders. They're women, man. You'll get yourself killed running around like that.
I don't follow. Kenji sighs and adjusts his glasses, before what could be understood as an attempt at explaining himself patiently.
Look, we're friends, so I'm telling you this for your own good. But if I were going to kill someone, I'd do it by throwing them off the roof and making it look like an accident. And if I've thought of it, you can be sure they've thought of it too. They're crafty, almost as crafty as I am.
I see.
Good. I'm glad we had this chat. Loan me 500 yen.
I'm sorry?
I need to get a drink, man.
Oops.
I've been inside all day and the tap water has been compromised, as I'm sure you know. So I need to stock up on something canned, got it? But to do that, I need 500 yen. And since I've just saved your whole life with my timely advice, you can at least pay me 500 yen.
You know, if it'll make him go away, 500 yen is a bargain. I hand the money over to Kenji, who nods in thanks and dashes off down the hallway, but not before he locks his door. What an exhausting person. I'd better go in case he changes his mind. As I close the door, my heel taps against something lying on the floor. It's a brightly colored rectangle of paper. Ah, and this must be the something Misha mentioned before. Probably a student council leaflet she slid under the door. However, when I pick it up, I couldn't have been more wrong. Someone actually wrote me an old-fashioned handwritten paper letter. Who bothers doing something like that in this day and age anyway? Yet, as unlikely as the prospect of receiving one sounds, this is definitely a letter I have in my hands. I was planning on finishing my homework, getting some dinner, and going to bed in order to be ready for tomorrow morning's run. However, the letter has naturally caught my interest. I sit at my desk to examine it properly. It's the first piece of mail I've received here at Yumeko, so it'd feel special even if it wasn't something as rare as a handwritten letter. What causes me even more trepidation is the name of the sender, written neatly on the back of the envelope. Iwanako. Hey, it's the girl that fucking confessed to me before I fucking died. I have no clue why she would write to me. I haven't been in contact with anyone from my old school since I transferred, and Iwanako is the last person I'd expect to want to write me a letter. The last time I saw Iwanako was terribly awkward, embarrassingly so. She came into my hospital room, peeled me an apple out of courtesy, and then we practically sat in silence for half an hour. She said goodbye, and didn't even look me in the eye when she closed the door. It might have been a natural end to the series of visits that were probably pretty painful for both of us. Every time she visited me in the hospital, I wanted to talk to her, but something stopped me every time. Every time I didn't speak made the next time even harder. She looked so guilty that I didn't want to say anything that might upset her, and I never could figure out the right words to say. I think Iwanako blamed herself for my heart attack. That's ridiculous, of course, but knowing it and believing it are two very different things. I told her that it wasn't her fault. She nodded, and I really think she understood that if it hadn't been, then sooner or later something would have made my heart give out. Yet she looked so hopelessly sad every time she opened that door and entered my room, so I never managed to say the things I wanted to say. In the end, that might have hurt her even more. Carefully I open the envelope and draw out the folded letter from within.
Dear Hisao, how are you? I hope you're well and happy at your new school. Everyone here misses you. Almost all of our second-year class got put together in Class 3-1 for the final year, so we're pretty comfortable right now for the beginning of the year. I'm sure you would have been assigned to this class as well. The mood among the third year seems to be very anxious about the final exams, even though they're so far away. The teachers are badgering us about it all the time, even old Mr. Tachibana, who is, by the way, our homeroom teacher this year. Would you believe it? I was sure that he'd retire after our second year, but here he is, nagging everyone about studying for exams. I think things like that are the main reason why the mood among the third years is so nervous. I must admit that I'm somehow losing confidence in myself as well, even though I've always fared reasonably well in exams. It's so weird to think that we're already seniors, isn't it? The time has really flown past. I wonder where it went. The new first year seems so young and somehow really innocent. I keep wondering if I was like them in my first year. I've been feeling nostalgic like this for the whole first trimester. There are other things I want to say. I'm writing to you because I felt like there are things I should have said after the incident back in winter. I really regret that I wasn't able to say them in person, and I have no excuse for it.
Yeah, I think I've had quite enough of this. I crumple up the sheet of paper and toss it across the room. My aim is off, so the letter rolls under my nightstand instead of going into my wastebasket. That was an apology for abandoning me, except I don't know that I really needed it anymore at this point. The hospital seems like a lifetime ago, and here, now, I've got other things on my mind. Amy for starters. Excuse me. It wasn't great to be abandoned during my stay, but it's not something I'm worried about anymore. In fact, I hadn't even thought about the hospital and what feels like forever until this letter came in. It's almost annoying to have received it. I've got exams to study for myself. I have no time for the past. Now, about that homework. Alright, well, I think that we're going to end it off there for today. We got, like I said, I think that was definitely some good plot stuff happening. Oops, not load, save. So yeah, I think that was some good plot stuff that was happening there. So we received a letter from Iwanako, huh? Sort of, I think we've pretty much moved on from our hospital stay. But obviously, she probably hasn't. So that's interesting. I wonder if she's gonna eventually play any sort of bigger role in the story, or if it's just sort of remember this character, this is a little update on her now sort of thing. But yeah, interesting. And we're starting to get some feelings for Amy, my boy. And do I fucking blame him? No. Come on, you have I mean, she's fucking cute, small, athletic, caring. I mean, what is there to not like about her? Come on. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this time. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a thumbs up on the video. And if you like this series or any other series of videos on my channel, that'd be awesome if you could subscribe. And turn on post notifications so you'll be notified when those videos come out. And I'll see you in the next video.
Don't rain on me.